collard greens, yams, fried fish. What does this have to do with the Montgomery Bus Boycott? And who is Mrs. Georgia Gilmore? In October of 1955, Georgia Gilmore paid her bus fare. The bus driver shouted at her, "Get off the bus," told her to leave through the back door. Of course she was upset, but she did as she was told. But she vowed to never ride another bus. 2 months later, another Montgomery bus rider refused to give up her seat to a white man, and she was arrested. I'm talking about Rosa Parks. But back to Georgia Gilmore. She was pissed mad after her ordeal, and she joined a community meeting at Holt Street Baptist Church on December 5th, 1955, where the spotlight was on injustice shown towards African Americans. There were 5,000 people at that meeting, including Dr. Martin Luther King. And at that meeting, it was decided that the buses would be boycotted until the rights of black folks were recognized as equal citizens. Now, this was a bold, a radical, a commitment that affected the men and the women who were cooks and maids in need of riding the bus to get to work. But let me tell you, the resistance lasted for 381 days. It was made possible by weekly strategy meetings, protests, and a 300-car carpool system that created many pickups, dozens of pickup and drop-off locations. Now, how was the resistance funded? Georgia Gilmore organized women, and they became the Club from Nowhere. They cooked fried chicken sandwiches, they fried fish, pork chops, prepared greens, lima beans, and baked goods such as pies and cakes. And the Club from Nowhere sold dinners from their home at protest meetings and local establishments. Georgia Gilmore was one of 80 people to testify in the defense of Dr. King in 1956 when a Montgomery grand jury indicted him. Georgia was fired from her long-standing job at National Lunch Company, but Dr. King reminded her that she had worked for somebody many, many years, and now it's time for her to work for herself. So she went out, she started a catering business and her home-based restaurant. Black folks, white folks, they were together there at Gilmore's Kitchen. And according to food historian John T. Edge, Lyndon Baines Johnson, and Robert F. Kennedy both ate at the Gilmore Kitchen. Mrs. Gilmore died on Friday, March the 9th, 1990, which was the 25th anniversary of the march from Selma to Montgomery. Mrs. Gilmore did not stop being an activist after the Montgomery boycott. She was an activist almost until the days that she died. I did a lot of research because I found Mrs. Gilmore to be quite fascinating. So in the show notes, you will find many places where you can go and find information. But I do want to bring to your attention an article that was published in the New York Times, written by Clancy Miller, July 31st, 2019. It's a pretty in-depth look at the life of Georgia Gilmore. The article is part of the Overlooked No More series that the New York Times put together. Series of obituaries about remarkable people whose deaths beginning in 1851 went unreported in the New York Times.